One is just that, at what point was his brother too far gone? He couldn't do anything. As much as you want to help somebody, it isn't even that they won't help themselves. It's not that they don't want to help themselves. It's not that they're purposely doing it. It's just they can't be otherwise. And at what point do you write them off? And at what point do we start to see that in ourselves, that we're approaching a line where we're, almost to a place where we don't want to be for ourselves? I don't know. And you just can never know. So maybe it's a lesson to be kind to everyone you meet. Because for two reasons. First off, as I'm sure you've heard before, that everyone's fighting a hard battle. You don't know anything about it. But also be kind to everyone you meet, because by doing that, some people have unwittingly entertained angels without realizing it. Goddamn right. Yeah. If you don't know what love is like, or if you've never received it, you learn about love because you see it on social media. And let's face it, social media doesn't get clicks by giving us reality. It gets clicks by doing something that's outside the usual, outside the norm. So you can get some really messed up ideas of what love is. Yeah. I was thinking of, like, you could learn from television or movies or even books, but it's the exact same problem. You're learning about some kind of weird, hyperbolized, usually unhealthy version of what love is, what it looks like. So, very good. Okay. So in that case, you're appealing to like a sense of empathy, because you want them to feel what it's like, so then they feel the loss of it as well. That's tough. Do you think that if you're showing a bully love or affection or attention, like positive attention, you might be encouraging their bullying?
Encouraging it?
Yeah. I heard someone say, yeah. I just wonder that, because if a bully learns that they're going to get attention and love, because there's definitely, I think that especially if you're talking about like kids, like little ones, they don't know, they're just babies, they don't know. So if they don't know that what love is like, then they get it. Obviously, they're gonna have a positive reaction to it. But then if you kind of like not threaten to take it away from them, but kind of like they feel what it's like when they don't have it, there's a desire to get it again. And so I wonder when you get to a certain age, if that happens. Like, we're talking about how, for example, people get attention. As a teacher, typically, can you guess whose names we usually learn first? Yeah, and what kind of bad behavior specifically? There's one. No, not even that. Not even that. It would get right. What's that? Kind of. What's the first thing we do as teachers when the day starts, or when the period starts? Before that even. Attendance. So I go through, and when I do attendance, I have a seating chart, and I take a red marker and I slash through the people who aren't there. Not because I'm threatening to kill them, but because they're not sitting at their desk. You're good. And then they get like one side. And then if you come in late, there's a second slash that goes through, which tells me, oh, that person was late. So as soon as the bell rings, my attendance is already done. If I mark you, when that 1 minute warning bell goes, I take attendance. And then if people come in after that, I just with my finger and erase those slashes. So then when someone comes in late after that, they get a second slash, which is what tells me that they're late rather than absent. And then we go through an attendance, and you have to recorrect the names. So you don't mean to. You just learn the names of the late students before anybody else. I don't even learn the names of the absent students. I have a couple of students who I haven't met yet. They're still on my attendance. They're still either name in the margin on a seating chart because they haven't shown up yet. If you ask me what their names are, I couldn't tell you because it's in the margin. I never look at it because it's just like an automatic absence that goes in. And so there's something to be said that now there's some of you in here. I mean, I'm just particularly bad with names, but I will learn everyone's name in here within the next couple of weeks. But there's some of you who show up every day, did a good job on your project, you don't, take off the bathroom, you're always on time, and I have no idea what your name is. And that sucks. That sucks because it's like we have Saturday schools, and we have the Saturday schools because of attendance. Imagine, you guys know how much teachers get paid for Saturday school? It's like $175, I think it is, something like that. Yeah, for 4 hours. Which, by the way, you can't get teachers to do it. None of us want to do it. Why? Because they don't pay us enough to do it. So if you come in here on a Saturday school, and I'm sitting over there watching pug videos instead of grading, and I'm eating food, it's $175 that I'm getting there for 4 hours. But most teachers won't do it because we don't get paid enough. If we do like summer school, it's 3 weeks. How much is that? It's $5,000. Teachers get $5,000 to sit there during summer school and go, here are the packets. I'm going to take attendance. Come and talk to me in 3 weeks. Because it's so much of it is just independent study. And you might know, why am I telling you that? How many classes are going on in summer school? 10 on campus maybe? I don't know. It's $50,000. And then plus all the Saturday schools. What can we do with all of that money? We could start some scholarships to send high-performing students to college. We could pay for some textbooks. There's a lot of stuff we could do with that money. But instead, all of the money goes towards trying to solve a problem rather than going towards rewarding, the potential, call it that way. And you'll see that happen a lot. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like where I grew up, if we didn't have to have so damn many police officers all over the place, we could have done a lot more stuff in my community. There were a lot of, I was just thinking today that, people tag in our neighborhoods and then we have to go back and paint it out. That's all like time, effort, money, energy. That could go towards so many other things, positive things. But all of our attention goes towards the poor behavior. And the people who are doing it, they're doing it like with like a knowledge that they're destroying. And it's all that they know, yeah, but I wonder if we go back and look at it and just say, wow, if they just got enough love when they were younger, if they just got enough attention when they were younger. And it sounds silly, but when we go to prison and interview people who are there and ask them, so tell me about your life growing up, tell me about your family. There's this YouTube channel, don't go watch it, man, it's really sad. It's called Soft White Underbelly. Soft White Underbelly. Yeah, don't go look at that channel. Soft White Underbelly. It started as a photography project by this guy, and now he interviews people. Typically it's black and white, but it's like he interviews like homeless people, for example, and it just asks them, so tell me your life story. And it's just like a 45-minute, barely even an interview. The person's just talking for 45 minutes. It's a lot like what I do. They just talk for 45 minutes, but they're really interesting. Because you can see what, at some point when their life turns. So for example, one of them that stands out to me was this woman. She was homeless. She lived on Skid Row up in Los Angeles. That's mostly who he interviews, people in LA. Because I think I'm guessing that's where he's located. And they're asking her about her life growing up. And she said, my life was pretty normal growing up. I had my mom, I had my dad. And she's describing her childhood. She's growing up. And then at one point, everything shifts, and she goes on to explain about how one of her earliest memories of her father is her father kidnapping her, which now tells us that the parents weren't together. Oh, it's about to get worse before it gets better. And the reason he kidnapped her was because he believed that he had heard a voice from God telling him that he had to take her to a mountain and sacrifice her, like Abraham was supposed to sacrifice his son Isaac. So the mom somehow found out this was happening. The police got involved. There was a police pursuit. And he drags her out of the car and tries to knife her to death before the cops can stop him. You see the contradiction there? My life was pretty normal, except that my dad tried to sacrifice me to God. And then at that point, you just see the whole cascade flood. And she was like angry. She is mad as she's crying. She's just like, I don't care about nobody. Nobody's ever cared about me. No one's ever cared. And she means it. And you can feel the pain coming through the screen as she's describing this. You know? I'm just getting chills as I think about what it's like when she's doing that. And I'm watching it and I'm just like, I care. I'll give you a job. I'll start a company. I'll give you a job. Because you realize this was a person who just didn't have a chance in the very beginning. And why is she now, I believe she was, I don't remember if it was alcohol or heroin, whichever one it was, but she's an addict in any event. Why is she doing that? Well, largely to numb the pain of that existence. And now it becomes really difficult, as I ask that question, if anyone's ever too far gone. Because if the person's too far gone, as much empathy, as much sympathy, as much as I would want, most of us, if you watched the interview with her, would really want to help her. Could you? If you gave her a place to stay, if you gave her a job, if you gave her the attention, if you tried to now show her all of the things that she missed, would it help her? I don't know. I don't think so. So now the question is, what do you do with the whole section of society that you can't help, but you really want to, man? And then now you can scale that back, and you can see where that's a struggle that a lot of you are going to have with a lot of people in your life. You'll want so much to help your brother. You'll want so much to help your best friend because they don't see how great they really are. You'll want so much to help your parents because they're struggling, but you can't right now. And then there'll be other people you'll wonder, bless you. Some of those people, they're not so far gone. You can help your parents at some point. Can you help your brother? One of my best friends from high school, his name is Billy. I may have told you about him already. It gets better. He's Chinese. And I mean, like, his parents are like Chinese, like from China, from a village in China. Billy, and by the way, this is great. This tells you the kind of handle that we had on racism when I was growing up. We just called him Beery. And if you understand, you understand. Thank you. I appreciate that. We called him Beery. And so, Beery got married a while back. And same thing, that dude went to China, and he got himself, married a girl from China, and it's off the wall because he calls me up one day, and because she speaks like 5 words of English, almost no English, and he's asking me about politics because he came home and his wife had gotten a Make America Great hat, and she loves Trump. I think her vocabulary has expanded now to like 20 words of English. And she goes off in Chinese, and he'll call me, and he'll be like, what do you know about, because he watches nothing about politics. He's like, what's all this up with Trump? Do you know anything about this guy? And by the way, this is like while he was president the first time. So this wasn't like he came out of nowhere and really knew nothing about him. And so they had themselves a little Chinese baby, and they named him Oliver. And guess what he calls me? Theo Scanlon. Because of where we grew up, it's all, that's you didn't call people uncle, you called them Theo. So I've got my Chinese friend with his Chinese baby named Oliver calling the white guy Theo Scanlon. I'm like, man, I love this country. I love this country. But we're going through high school together. I have a million stories. If Barry would come in here, he would say hi to you guys and go, next sentence. All right, did Scanlon ever tell you about the time that, and he'll have like all the worst and most embarrassing stories. And they're good stories to remember because when I see some of you acting, some of the ways that you act, it's good for me not to clutch my pearls and go, I can't believe you. Because then I'll be like, oh wait. Hey Scanlon, remember that time you gave your drama teacher a Vietnam flashback and he retired? He went on medical leave for 2 weeks, then retired mid-semester. And remember, you did it intentionally? It's like, yeah, I remember that. It's, yay. By the way, that's my response when I've got nothing to say to you because I'm so wrong. Yay.
I said you were just a baby.
I was just a baby. I didn't know. I was still learning.
What grade were you in?
I was a senior. But I was on time to class. I was never late. But But it's good to have people like that around you because they remind you of who you used to be. They also remind you that's only who you used to be. The point is that Barry will tell you all kinds of stories about me. And then after he gets done telling you a story about, there's one story I'm thinking about, it has to do with Griffith Park and the park rangers and having to call my friends to come pick me up because 2 of us were being chased by the park rangers. A long story, good one though, but another time. Him coming out there and being all excited because he was part of the story, because he was never part of any of our stories. Why? Because he had a schizophrenic brother, an older brother, yeah. So he stayed home because his schizophrenic brother would go off on his parents, go off his medication, and attack his parents. His parents were older. And so he felt a need to stay home to protect his brother. I'm sorry, protect his parents from him. Barry started working out a lot, and he just looked like a human muscle because he worked out so much because his brother worked out a lot, and it was more of like an arms race. Like I gotta get strong, so I gotta protect my parents because otherwise, he's gonna kill them. Real legit, he was concerned that he was gonna kill them. His brother died eventually, and I remember talking to him and him saying, "It's the worst feeling in the world because I couldn't help him, so I almost feel like this is probably the best possible thing." And then he's looking back at his life, and he was like, I want to say he was like late 20s or so when his brother died. So he missed his high school years of going out and doing stuff. He missed a lot of his 20s. It took him 7 years to graduate from his bachelor's degree from college, and which is great because he got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. So obviously, what does he do today? What job does he have? Clear connection. He works the membership counter over at Costco. Because he had a job, he had a McJob when we were in high school, and he got McFired. Yeah, because he got really McPissed off at work. I'm not gonna tell you where he worked, but he punched a McHole in the McMicrowave and lost his McJob. And then he went from there into Costco, and he's been there ever since he was like 18 or so. And so now he's like at the top, so he makes a lot of money doing it, working at Costco. But my point is just that, at what point was his brother too far gone? He couldn't do anything. As much as you want to help somebody, it isn't even that they won't help themselves. It's not that they don't want to help themselves. It's not that they're purposely doing it. It's just they can't be otherwise. And at what point do you write them off? And at what point do we start to see that in ourselves, that we're approaching a line where we're, almost to a place where we don't want to be for ourselves? I don't know. And how much love do we give evil people? I don't know. Something inside tells me that it didn't matter how many Valentine's Day cards Hitler got in 6th grade. He still was going to be a jerk. I don't know. But then again, it also makes me wonder if Ted Bundy had known who his real mom was, would he be different today? And you just can never know. So maybe it's a lesson to be kind to everyone you meet. Because for 2 reasons. First off, as I'm sure you've heard before, that everyone's fighting a hard battle. You don't know anything about it. But also be kind to everyone you meet, because by doing that, some people have unwittingly entertained angels without realizing it. So, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques?